Thanks for your help earlier, Brady.
Perfect. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting of Thursday. You think I'm on the wrong agenda? Of
Monday,
Monday.
All day.
24th. We're on the 24th.
2026.
Let's please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So that's why. At the top of the agenda, it says Thursday.
Does it?
Yeah.
You made me panic. I thought I
That's
had the
my
wrong
fault.
agenda up.
Sorry.
All right, we just came out of a non-public with a utility company, and we have done some paperwork review, but we will now start our meeting. We'll start with the review and approval of consent items. We have a payroll manifest for 8/27 of $75,935.39. We have accounts payable manifest of 8/25 for $30,087.31. We have a tax collector reconciliation, July of 2026, and we have a town clerk reconciliation for July of 2026 as well. Do we have any items that anybody wishes to remove?
No, sir.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Gannon, second by Mr. Leary. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All those abstain? Motion carries 4-0-0. Now we have a request for additional items or other business. Do we have any?
Add to the
Several.
consent, that you just approved, the personnel policy that you approved on 8/10.
So why don't we just put that
Which is all
on?
cleaned up and ready for your signature.
We'll just put that at the bottom of the agenda then. Perfect, okay. Personnel policy.
You want to mention our member not here tonight?
Yes, Mr. Brunel is not in attendance tonight. He has a work event that he had to attend, so he will not be joining us. So you just get the four of our happy faces. First non-public will not occur until at least 6:45. So we'll start with our business part of the meeting. Business presentation, Scott McIntyre, CBiz 2025 financial audit. How's it going?
Going well. Thank you for having me tonight. Appreciate the opportunity to come in and give you a, whoa.
Welcome to our new chairs.
I guess that probably says something about me.
No, it doesn't to everybody.
Thank you for that. Appreciate the opportunity to come in, give you a brief overview of our audit of your June 12/31/2025 financial statement audit. We understand that the board has been given two reports from us. One is what we call our governance letter. We call it a governance letter because our professional standards, our auditing standards require that we report to those charged with governance. That's a phrase from the standards. The profession has just called it the governance letter. So I'll talk about that in a minute, and I'll also walk you through your 12/31/25 financial statements. First, the governance letter. This is probably the more important of the documents. The numbers, there should be really no surprises in there. The results of the audit are summarized in the governance letter. It tells you how we planned our audit. It references back to our engagement letter with you. It references the qualitative aspects of the engagement. That's where it's. I love to be able to say these things to clients. That's when we came in here. We found the books and records to be in good working order. Cash, receivables, and other key balance sheet accounts were reconciled on it. We found them to be reconciled on a regular and timely basis. This governance letter, and again, everything in the governance letter are required communication, so I'm just sort of summarizing it here. The governance letter talks about estimates. The two largest estimates in your financial statements are your net pension liability and your total OPEB liability. There's some related accounts associated with those, including deferred outflows, deferred inflows, and expenses. They are key estimates because of their significance to the long-term perspective financial statements, but they are based on actuaries' work. We do evaluate that work, evaluate the assumptions, and in some ways test certain key assumptions. One of the relatively new disclosures from a couple of years ago that I'll just remind people of, that again is in this governance letter, deals with the fact that in addition to being your independent auditors, we did assist the town with what is known as a non-audit service. We assist Litchfield, like we do virtually all of our clients in the state of New Hampshire and really through all New England. We assist in the preparation of the actual financial statements from your books and records. We pull it together because there's a consolidation process that goes on. So we do that, but I am required to tell you that we do that as a non-audit service. It's a very common situation, but our professional standards require us to report that to you. I do also want to report that there were no disagreements in how to apply generally accepted accounting principles between the town and our firm, and that as a result of our work, we did not need to propose any significant audit entries. So that's really to me, before we get into the numbers, if you will, that's the nuts and bolts of how our audit process went. It went very, very well, is the best way I know how to describe it. Now, when it comes to the financial statements, we have it begins with our opinion on your financial statements, and it is known as an unmodified. Oftentimes it's thought of as a clean opinion, but professional standards would call it unmodified. There are no modifications to our opinion. In other words, after completing our test work, in accordance with both generally accepted auditing standards and generally accepted government auditing standards, in our opinion, your financial statements are materially fairly presented in accordance with GAAP, or generally accepted accounting principles, for the 12/31/2025 and for the year there ended. Following that, you have your management's discussion and analysis. It's a great resource to go back to at a later point in time to understand why certain key account balances may have changed. And then you come to what I just would generally refer to as the number pages. I am going to ask you to turn to a couple of pages here in a minute, but before I do, I just want to point out to the board and any listeners, there are really two sets of financial statements in here. I used a phrase a little while ago with the long-term perspective. That's where you account for all of your long-term liabilities, net pension liability, OPEB liability, OPEB being an acronym for other post-employment benefits, more commonly thought of as retiree health care, where all of your capital assets are. The key major accounts in your long-term financial statements are the pension liability and your OPEB liability. They're very much unchanged from 12/31/24 to 12/31/2025. On the pension side, it represents your proportional share of the overall liability of the New Hampshire retirement system. You're a contributing member, and I think it's like 13 years from now, that liability actuarially is expected to mature or be fully funded. Another way of saying that is if you keep doing what you're doing for another, I think it's 13 years, that net pension liability, assuming all the assumptions are achieved, will be brought down to zero. Pension's a little bit, OPEB's a little bit different, but it's not a significant, really a large liability here in Litchfield. With that, then we go turn the page from the long-term perspective financial statements over to, as you would imagine, the short-term perspective. And for anyone who may want to look on, print page 13 is the start of your governmental fund balance sheet. And the key accounts here are looking on print page 13, that first column of numbers, which is your general fund, the main operating fund of the town. And almost all readers, the first place they're going to look for in this entire document is in that first column of numbers, and it's the third number up from the bottom, or your unassigned fund balance, with a December 31, 2025 balance of just under $4.2 million. A year ago, that key account balance was about $3.9 million, so a little bit more than a $200,000 increase. in that key account balance. And that unassigned fund balance of about $4 million, almost 4.2 million, as a percentage of your budget, it may seem fairly high. And I've talked about this here in Litchfield before, talked about it with many of our other clients, particularly calendar year-end clients in this state. I think it's important to recognize that, the tax structure is what it is. You're collecting property tax revenue, which is, of course, your largest revenue source. You're collecting it in arrears. So keeping a fund balance the size of what you have is really, it's cash flow to the community during times before the first bill is collected in June and the second one right around December 1st. So I wanted to just point that out. Perhaps the other key number on print page 13 is 2 rows up from that unassigned fund balance. So 5 numbers up from the bottom is the committed fund balance. That balance of about $508,000 represents your capital reserve funds. Now, the last page I want to turn your attention to, but before I do, I want to go back to the unassigned fund balance, where I said that that's really the first place that almost all readers are going to turn to, and it had an increase of about $230,000. If you have the document open, if you go to print page 8, or find it online, there's a paragraph that the town helped write with us. Again, we helped to prepare this, but this was prepared by the town. Right in the middle there, it's the third paragraph down from the top. It starts with the general fund is the chief operating fund. What that paragraph goes on to tell you is why that key account balance increased by $230,000. Essentially, your favorable budgetary results, which are shown on page 43, where it was about $562,000. Favorable on the revenue side, favorable on the expenditure side. And I use the word soften. Those favorable budgetary results were softened by the use of your unassigned fund balance for fiscal year 2026. So favorable budgetary results softened a little bit by the use of fund balance for calendar 26, net to about a $200,000 increase in your unassigned fund balance. Those numbers don't work out perfectly. It makes my job easier when they come within a couple of bucks of each other. But that's really the highlight. I go back really to the governance letter, where that really highlights it's very clean. It tells you that, the audit went well. We found the books and records to be in good working order, and we did not need to propose any significant adjustments as a result of our work. And with that, I'll turn it back to the chair and try to answer any questions that the board may have.
Yeah, I'll let you guys start. Anybody have any questions for him to start with?
I would say, in your opinion, is our unassigned fund balance healthy? Are we in a good
I think
position?
it's a strong balance sheet.
Is it?
We were really low a few years ago.
I think I remember
We were
that.
very, very low. Somebody on this board was a real pain in the butt about raising it. Who was that, Kim?
It's a strong balance, but where do you see it? Where does it need to be?
Well, that comes down to cash flow. It
Yep.
really does. I mean, a credit rating agency or a financial institution is going to look at that and almost ask, how many months of cash flow is that the equivalent of? And yours is probably higher than a lot of governments, but I would say not higher than a lot of 12/31 year-end governments because of the tax structure that exists. You won't collect from 12/31/25, you're not collecting property tax revenue till June. And then you don't collect it again until roughly December 1st. So in calendar 26, you will have spent nearly 11/12 of your calendar 26 budget before you get the second half of your largest revenue source. So, there, I hope that's helpful.
Do you
Is that
think
clear
it
as
should be
mud for
higher?
you?
It all comes down to cash flow, and I would need to defer to management on what cash flow's been like. I have not studied that,
Okay.
and I'm giving you an honest answer there. I have not studied that.
Typically, if it goes up every year, that's a good sign.
Doesn't it? It's gone down in a few years. Some years that I've sat here.
Okay, so you guys overspent.
No.
You could say that,
Duty's good.
much to somebody's chagrin, but, no. But I think it equals out to about a month and a half, right? Because we pay the school over $2 million a month.
On most
And our
months, yeah.
expenses, so,
Some-
yeah, it'd
some
be
months
about a
it's
month and a
lower.
half if we didn't collect anything.
Yeah. No, it's nice to hear that we have a healthy balance, but I'm of the strong mind that it needs to be a little higher.
You've got a second right there.
Anybody else have more questions?
I think it all depends upon your intent. What's your goal? So right now, I mean, there's enough that we're being able to, at least temporarily, invest in a CD, which of course has to do with your interest income. So if you're not going to hold enough cash to do that, then you really need to lower your revenue for interest income because you're not gonna have as much, which is an offset to the budget. So it's all related, and you need, like, we need to be careful as to what is your goal. At least if you have it in a short-term CD, if the town runs into a problem where we can't meet the financial liability to the school, we can
Cash it.
cash that CD in and have that liquid money to make it. But if you remember correctly, 2 years ago, now,
When the school failed,
or last year?
when it
I
failed,
think it was
When
two
the-
years ago.
when the
2
school
years ago,
failed.
when the school,
Yeah.
we were late getting the tax rate.
Yes.
We
Right.
were 2 weeks from not being able to fund the school their payment.
Right.
So I like being on the higher side, for that reason. But I don't think that we're too low.
We're always too low.
To Bob.
I'm a firm believer,
Yeah.
you spend the money that you raise,
Yeah, well,
but stay on the safe side to always have something to add to the fund. To me, that's the best way to be responsible, and
this is a time of year when every department's got the hands out and they want something from unassigned fund balance.
well, it's okay if it's there.
That is true.
Any other questions?
I'll argue that point.
Any other questions?
No.
No.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
It's
much
good
for
to
coming
hear.
in. I also want to give accolades to our town staff,
Yes.
because we wouldn't be
Yep.
in this position without them.
Yep.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
It's always that word unassigned. People get confused, like, what do you mean it's unassigned? What are you gonna do with it? We're gonna pay the bills.
Cash flow.
In between
minutes.
June and
Next.
December.
Next item on the, all right, we have a bunch of minutes, but I'm gonna push them back. We have library here right now. We have a highway request. Do we have that request, or is Kevin coming in?
I thought Kevin
You wanna
was
do public
coming in.
input?
All right,
Yeah.
so then, all right, well, it's public input. Oh, that clock did stop. I just
Fine.
changed it before the meeting, too.
You broke it.
That's
May I
why.
have your permission to buy a new clock?
Please.
I make a motion
I
that
don't
Tim
know.
buys
I
a
don't know,
new.
not yet.
Not in the
All
budget.
right, so I open up public input at 6:56 PM. Anybody from the public wishing to speak, please come up, state your name for the record, and it looks like we don't have anybody that wants to do that, so we'll close the first public comment, and we will come into the library impact fee request.
Where is it?
I gotta find it. Highway. Expenditure, there we are.
Hi, everybody. I'm
Hi,
Gail Musto.
Gail.
I'm from the library. This is
Alan Sandler, library trustee.
So thank you for letting us come to you with our request for using impact fees to update our septic system, which has been out of commission since May.
How often are you
It's
pumping?
working, it's pumped every month.
Every month you're pumping, okay.
Yep,
That's not helping your budget this year, is
it
it?
is not. It isn't, and we don't wanna keep doing that
What,
because it's.
what are you paying for per pump right now?
Right now it's $3.53
$3.53.
with no other fees. I know other companies have
So
fees
you
when they
probably
come
have
out, but
1,500 gallon tank or bigger.
thousand,
Yeah,
1,000 gallon tank.
1,000 gallon tank.
Yep, yeah, it's old.
Wow.
I don't know if you have my request in front of you?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So, I noticed I had a slight typo. We're requesting impact fees not to exceed $34,912. And let me talk about how we kind of came to that number.
Okay.
We received a quote from TDD Earth Tech, which is who we want to go with in terms of doing the work to install the new septic system. And their cost to do that was $32,912, and I think you have the quote for that included with the package. And so in investigating whether or not we could use impact fees, we spoke with Kim and we kind of batted around some ideas. And, you know, in thinking about replacing the tank, it isn't truly a replacement of the tank because by regulation, we're not able to just put in what we have.
Correct.
It's too old, it's too small. And so what we did was we got a quote for what the cost would be if we just put an exact replacement of the system in the ground, if we had somebody come out and do that. Because we didn't think that that amount would be applicable for impact fees, because that would truly just be a replacement. So, so we got a quote and it was $8,000 if we were just gonna do an exact, put everything back as it was, you know. Same size tank, same size leach field, digging out the soil and then putting the same soil back in. And so when we were determining this impact fee amount that we wanted, we deducted that $8,000 replacement of, you know, just as it was from the quote that we got from TDD. So that gave us a request of $24,912 that we would want from impact fees. But there's also electrical work that has to be done because the new system has a pump because we have a toilet that is at ground level. So, we're having Jolt do that work. And, you know, we have a 100-year-old building, so he's kind of determining how he's gonna do this, how he's gonna get the power out through the building, you know, it's gonna have to do some drilling. So I included that electrical work in the amount that we were requesting. And then I added, so that brought us to $30,912, and then I added a $4,000 just in case amount, because we're working with an old building. All of the quotes that we had received from any installers said, you know, if we dig and we find too much water, if we dig and we find a ledge, you know what I mean, that's gonna be additional. And I don't think we're gonna have any of that,
You may
but
have water.
I just wanna have,
You may have water.
a
It's a high
little
water table.
buffer.
Yeah, there's
You
a lot of
know?
water behind you.
yeah. So, and I wanted to mention, you know, we're asking for impact fees, and again, because we can't replace the system, and it's because of regulation, it's because our numbers, I think it was 8,000 plus in 2003 patron visits, and we're up to over 24,000 in patron visits in 2025. So, you know, we could never have a small system again, because it's just not gonna, you know, work for the number of people that we have coming through. So that's our request. Did you have any questions for me on that?
So I'll start off with the question of, when you look at your estimate from TDD,
Yeah,
the 32,912 estimate says this price includes electrician to install power to pump and wire and floats.
yes, and I thought the same thing when I was looking at it, but it is to take the power from the building to the pump that is outside on the system.
Not from inside.
It's right.
Okay.
So the quote for the $6,000 quote for the electric work is really just to get the power to outside. So, add power to the box, he's gotta run it through the ceiling, he's gotta, drill, to get through to the outside.
So did you get the formal quote you said you were gonna get?
Yes, so there's a formal quote from
Oh,
Eric in
okay.
here.
And it was it, how much is it?
His was 6,150.
Okay.
I just allocated
The six.
6,000.
Okay.
He's really good about things and, mentioned that, once he does it, you know what I mean, it may not be 6,000, but, just to be sure.
Yeah.
What else did I want to, there was something else I wanted to mention. So the 8,000 that we deducted from the TDD quote, we are expecting to submit that to the Friends of the Library and to get that $8,000, for that.
And you've raised 14?
Last I saw was 12,
Okay.
so I'm not sure.
I believe it's a little bit higher. I
Is
was
it-
at the
is it
library
higher?
today and I think I saw 15.
Oh, okay. So we may talk with them about maybe putting the electric through them if we had enough. And so that's what, I wrote this up as not to exceed, just so that, if we needed the funds, we wouldn't exceed that. But that way, if we didn't need them, then we wouldn't be submitting bills.
Do you have a
for
time,
impact
do you have a
fees.
time frame where they'd be able to do this for you?
I have a call into them, and I have not heard back yet when they could possibly do it. We'd like it done as soon as possible, but definitely, before winter.
So you'd be going from 1,000-gallon tank to,
It would be 2,000. So it's a 1,500-gallon tank with a 500-gallon pump tank.
so it's double.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, double. And the leach field is much larger as well.
I believe they have 62,910 in impact fees.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I did want to just tell you, I'm not sure if you are aware, Gail, so Christine, our trustee, reached out today to let, and I think she let Ann know, that $13,600 was put in the library maintenance fund. That was the sale of those Warner Brothers stocks.
Okay.
So, not saying that it should be used for this, but I know you've got plenty
No.
of other items that
Projects
need to
that need to
be,
be done as
but,
which could not
that
be
track,
put
yeah,
under impact fees.
yes.
So expanding the tank from 1,000 to 2,000
They're doubling.
is doubling it, is an expansion of services for the town. It
Yep.
falls on the impact.
Doubling
rate.
the number of people that come
Right.
through.
Right.
Yes.
Is this the only estimate you got, or
Yes.
did you go out and get a couple?
Oh, no, we got 4
You got 4 estimates, okay.
estimates, ranging from 44,000,
Mhm.
and that was without electric.
Yeah,
And then TDD was the least, so 44, 43, and a 40.
okay.
So this impact fees that we're discussing right here is money that is allocated from new build in town to different portions of the town government. This is allocated only for the library and only can be used for the library to expand their service, which is what we're doing here. So we're not collecting any tax dollars for this. If this money is not used, it would be returned to a contractor. It would not go back towards taxes in any way, shape, or form. And it seems to me, as a selectman sitting here, that this is a new use.
Anybody else?
I think it's good use. They justified it with a 145% increase in usage in 1 year.
So I see this, don't get me wrong, I want to do everything I can to help. But logistically, to replace what you have for $8,000, you openly said they can't even do it. So what would be the real cost to replace the minimal system?
Well, that is
They
the
can do
minimal
it.
system. But we can't do it because now regulations have been changed. So the state wouldn't even approve a
Yep.
building.
It's not
You know, we
even a
had to have
town
like a
yet, it's
test
state.
pit done, and then it was sent to an engineer to develop a plan, and then that plan was reviewed and approved by the state. But they wouldn't even let us do a 1,000-gallon tank now. It would have to be 2,000.
I mean, we could dig into this and dissect it any way we want, but does anybody care to make a motion?
I mean, before we do that, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that, and I'm not pointing fingers at you guys at all, but the fact that the library just spent $40,000 or $50,000 to replace a roof that didn't need to be replaced. Because a slate roof will last 1,000 years if it's properly upkept. 1,000 years. But I remember talking to the director last year, sitting right here during budget, and she had it in her mind that it was gonna get replaced.
Well, I think we had
This-
cracks and we had leaks.
The
And,
spalling that was going on, that's common with concrete in any type of buildings. That's absolutely.
and then we usually had somebody come out every 2 years to look at our slate roof.
Yep.
But apparently people have gotten out of the business. So the person that we usually had,
It's a rough market.
You
It
know,
really
never-
is. But
never
the state
called
could have
back.
helped you there.
You
The
know.
state register for historic buildings could have sent somebody down and they could have referred people.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
But, and again, I'm not pointing
But
the
what
finger
you're
at you
looking
guys,
for
but I
is-
think it was money that was unnecessarily spent when it could have been. Again, you're gonna be looking to replace a roof in 40 years or 30 years. So that's gonna be that kind of money every few years when there was a roof there that was perfectly fine with some upkeep.
Yeah,
And granted, it's expensive to repair slate,
Right.
but it's not wiping out your entire fund. that-
and just so you know, I don't know if Ann had mentioned it, but we did get a quote
Mhm.
to replace the slate,
Oh, yeah, that was
Roof?
crazy, 100,000.
103,000.
103,000.
Yeah, you don't change the whole roof, you just
Yeah.
fix the slates that are
Yeah.
bad.
So,
They do it all the time.
Yeah.
They do, there's people that do it.
and I think that was the time not Litchfield, Londonderry was having issues where they had water egress into their buildings, and, you know, we couldn't really find anybody to come out and work on the roof, and so,
That was the challenge, is the
Yeah.
vendor that we'd used forever.
Yeah.
Just,
Got
he,
old.
yeah,
well, actually, he's
Exactly.
still, no, he was still
Is
in
he?
business, he was still in business, but he got out of repairing business.
Yeah.
He just,
Yeah.
yeah.
But like Bob said, there was
Eh.
probably people at the state level that might have
Right.
been able to find a craftsman
Yeah.
that might have been
And now
able to
we
do
know
it, so
about
we have to.
the Preservation Society, and so we're definitely gonna be using them as a, touch point for finding vendors and things like that, especially when we can't.
Do they have grant money in there as well, the restoration?
do.
They do have grant money.
And I haven't read through the entire deed, but I think that the deed, when the property was bequeathed to the town for the building and the money, was stated that it was to have a slate roof. So that could have been a violation of the deed. And I don't know if any of the Cutler heirs are still around, I think they are, I've been told they are, but might not be viewed favorably. And that's a serious thing,
Yeah, well, I mean,
I know. And again, I'm not,
Yeah,
you
I
guys just
know.
happen to be sitting
I know.
here, but
Yeah.
it's hard to
I really do like you.
back.
thank you. Because actually, they kind of look, we keep looking for paperwork, such as the original agreement,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
we're
There's a
finding
lot
it-
of stipulations in the original.
we can't
They
seem to
can't
find
find
it.
it.
Oh, really?
Well, excuse me,
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, whether it's filed somewhere, well,
Right,
We should probably find that.
probably over in the,
It's supposed to be a brick building with a slate roof,
Yes.
less than a quarter mile or a quarter mile from the old town hall. And there's a few other stipulations in there.
Yeah.
I know that because my grandfather was the GC,
oh, yeah,
so take it a little personal.
okay.
But I still like you.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, motion to approve it.
Hey. Second.
Had to be said.
Are we gonna say an amount?
The
The
amount that-
requested amount of $34,921.
I have a motion by Mr. Leary, second by Ms. Blansky. I'll open this for any discussion if there is any. Seeing none, calls to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All those abstain? Motion carries 400. You have 34,921 out of your impact fees account
Right.
to
Not to
use
exceed.
towards the replacement.
Not to exceed.
And we will use it wisely.
Get somebody way into that restoration
And
fund
Donna's
and
sitting
all
right
of
there, so I
that
know
stuff.
she'll be
Donna's on top of it. Donna reads
one of my
everything.
favorite people right there.
Right, well, thank you all.
Thank you so much, Gail.
thank
It
you.
was nice to meet you.
We will now go to the next person that was in line. 250 expenditures and payments.
Oh, such a good try. Ooh.
He's been here waiting.
Cut off at the pass,
This should be easy.
Hopefully, yes.
hopefully.
So, I'm gonna, last week, Mr. Stapleton came in, and worked with Heather, in our finance office, to review his numbers versus her and Karen's numbers. They were able to balance, their accounts and make sure that all the expenditures and the donations match. He had 3 that he needed to bring forward tonight to, make payment to. And then I believe another that we will ask for a refund.
Okay.
So there'll be more, actually have, this one not done, and we have a refund request that we're gonna have our board vote on to give you proper documentation. And I'll give Kim the paperwork, which I have here, okay? So for the reimbursements, there are actually 4 reimbursements, and I think I sent you the latest running total
Yes.
of ones that would be spent. Let me get, I think that's in here. We have Nikki Beauregard for 501.07, for Diane 114.18, for Tara 88.03, and Heidi Miller 130.25 were the 4 that we had. That brings our totals, we'll have an outstanding balance of $585.82 when I give you the next 2. So in other words, the group stayed within budget, and these were submitted to the office with a form which I complete, and I give all the supporting documentation, receipts, and votes of the boards when they're necessary.
So you do not see the reimbursement for Diane? We need to vote on that separately because she needs to recuse herself. So you see the 3 for all of you to make a motion on, and then make a separate motion on the 114.
18. 18, yeah.
114.18 to
Yeah.
Mrs. Plansky. And I do have the receipt for that.
Okay. Anybody have questions for Mr. Stapleton?
What is your total so far, and what do you have left? Like, how close to your budget?
Well, I will give you this, because it's an extra copy, and then if you'd like to,
It might be in here, there's a
I
lot.
think he just wants the answer.
Yeah.
Well, the balance, after we pay everything, the two that I have not given you yet, the balance we'll have is 585.82.
Outstanding.
No,
Oh, that would be, okay, that would be the balance after it's all said and done.
Everything's done. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
expect any more payments to be made at all, so we stay completely within budget.
Nice.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we we make the payments for, or reimbursements, sorry, reimbursements to Heidi Miller for 130.25, Nicole Beauregard for 501.07, and Tara Bootlier
Terrier.
for 88.03. Made a motion, do I have a second? Motion by myself, second by Mr. Leary. Any discussion on on this motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, all those abstain, motion carries 400. Now, Diane, you will recuse yourself for this one.
recused, consider me recused.
You have to leave the room.
I make a motion to refund Ms. Polanski 114.78.
114.18, I think. I think that was an
On the
error.
sheet, it says 114.78.
No,
Up
shoot,
to 114.78.
It is 114.18,
Okay,
according to Heather.
Did you make a motion?
I did.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by myself, second by Mr. Leary. Any discussion on this motion?
I just want to say that we typically do not expend this kind of stuff to one. I appreciate what everybody did, but we have a lot of boards and a lot of commissions that volunteer their time. And for us to single out one and show our appreciation to one does it disjustice to all the rest.
No,
What are
it's
you
because
talking about?
she's sitting on this board.
I'm just
That's
trying to
why
get
We
my
don't
mind.
typically, we don't expense food for all the other commissions.
Are you sure?
Well, I'd actually.
Is
I think we should,
No,
but
but
I think it's,
I'm gonna point a case, the time we did, when we had the volunteer recognition
Yep.
in the veterans part.
Yep.
And we gave
Yep.
the medallions to a bunch of board members from many different
Okay.
boards. This is what we did at this event.
Yep.
We recognized the 250th committee with their volunteer medallions and their plaques
okay.
for the work they did.
Being a one-time board, and then as soon as we
Yeah,
can
and
get
they're
it
done.
finished, it
Yeah,
will
I
be
know, it's
dissolved.
just one of those that sets a precedence and it's a slippery slope. We're the only board that is paid, highly, of the $1,200 a year. It's
School
just the
board.
rest are not, and I'm concerned of what the optics of the whole thing is, that's all.
It was $114.
We have a lot of commissions and a lot of boards. I don't have I think it's good, I think we should, because people volunteer their times and they, besides, the satisfaction, what do they get back? It's just one of
If
those.
they spend their own money, they should get it back. They shouldn't have put money.
No
in it.
alcohol is on it,
No.
no tip. I-
You can't give input when you're sitting at the table. If you would like to speak, you need to go out there. Sorry.
Nope, you're right, I get it.
I think for this situation, it's fine. It was
Get me back, I
a special event. The money's there. I don't think that it's,
Yeah. I know, the money was raised and all that. It's not coming out of tax money, which is
Right,
good, but
right.
it's,
so, any more discussion?
No.
Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, all those abstain, motion carries 301.
You're an abstain.
You already counted me.
Anything else for us?
No, I'll be back again for the next two when I get those completed and turn them in.
Excellent, you're doing a
All
great
of
job.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Glad you got a haircut.
Appreciate you. No, do we need to vote on the other two?
Not till I submit the paperwork.
Okay,
So I'm
thank
still,
you.
I'm still
he's
organizing.
running his process,
Okay.
running through the
All right,
gates.
we'll call this item up to the plate again.
That's all.
Want me to come over and sit with your couch?
Highway-
Hang out.
A highway request for 4 Augusta Way.
Got enough money to buy
All I
his
see is
dinner.
a picture.
Come on, I actually have to.
There
go
was
look at
nothing in the
this.
portal on this, other than this nice little
This
picture.
this is super simple.
You can just cut them all.
What
I was
happened?
contacted by Rich McLaughlin of 4 Augusta Way. He's new to town, purchased a house. There are boundary markers around the entire property, and there's one that's dead center in his front yard.
Oh, yeah.
And it's for the road. It's to show the delineation between the road and his property. He's asked if he can have it removed. RSA, just bear with me. 472 boundary lines, section 472-6, removing, altering boundary lines. It's a misdemeanor to remove boundary lines. I told him that, and I said I would come in and speak to you because section A, mutual agreement between the landowners whose property lines are affected by the movement of boundary or authorization by government officials. We are the only ones that are affected other than him, because it is off the road. It doesn't affect his outside boundary markers. I propose going down with a chop saw and a diamond blade and cutting it down to ground level so he can mow. He's got a daughter that parks out on the road and she trips with holding her child. He's nervous people are gonna get hurt. Did you show him the picture?
I did.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so there's a
Picture is on
picture,
the
and
board.
it's dead center in the middle of his property. It has nothing to do other than for the roads. We know what the road width is and where it's at. So I'm just proposing that, because the town is the landowner that's affected other than him, we need to give permission or accept the boundary marker alteration. Or you have to, because you're the representative of the town.
How high does it
I have no
stand
issue
up?
with
Is it like
It's
4,
up.
6?
It's up.
Oh, really?
It's a good 6 inches up.
So it's not flush?
No, and like I said, on either corner, at the back and the front of his property, there's boundary markers for his neighbor's properties. So that would be something that us, and the neighbor would have to, to come to agreement with if we were to do something with that. But he's just interested in the one in the center of the property, and we would be the only other ones that would be affected.
And he's okay with the idea of making at least flush, so it's not a tripping hazard to remove over it?
I didn't approach him on that, but that's what I will approach him with, if it's okay with the town. I'm gonna approach him and say, this is the best we can do. We can't remove it. We're not gonna remove it.
No.
I firmly believe we should leave landmarks.
Yes.
For future people, he moves out, next person moves in, they know where it is. But we can alter it down to the ground level so that it's still there, but it's not a safety hazard.
So if down the road this gets covered with grass, which grass will grow over it?
I'll be honest with you, Bob, I don't think that it's an issue on us because we have the outside boundary markers, which also, go to the road. So there's one on either end of the property, which also, show the delineation between the road. This is just an extra one, actually right across the street, their neighbor he has one in his front yard too. You know what I mean? I personally, as road agent, I don't see it as being an issue for us. If that was the only boundary, yeah, I'd say, no, we gotta leave it right where it is.
But we should leave it, because if they land survey and that's a point that they'll be able to find, even though it's covered by dirt, they'll know, like, there should be a
Right,
stone bound
Any
underneath
kind of
this.
plans are out there, but, like I said, they would go off the outside edges.
Yep.
You know what I mean, and that's still the same delineation for our roads this way, but it also gives, the property of their neighbors. If it was affecting a neighbor, then I would say we should, we have to talk to the other neighbor, but it's, like I said, it's only him and us.
Is the neighbor's stone bound sticking up too, or are you gonna
Oh,
come
yeah,
back?
they're all high.
They're all out
The
like
whole
that?
neighborhood's high. Yeah.
Do we need a motion for this? We do. I'll make a motion that we allow the road agent to grind the granite marker down to flush with ground level at 4 Augusta Way.
I have a motion by Mr. Leary. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Ms. Polanski. Discussion. All right, I'll say what I was gonna say before we got a motion.
Oh, sorry.
If you alter this, it will change the fact that you can't mount to the top of it for surveying.
Absolutely. Well, no, you could, you still could. It's still gonna be a flat surface, I'll leave it an inch
Yeah,
above.
but there's usually a hole in the middle, and that's
Put
what
a hole in for you.
holds it in. The other issue I have with possibly doing this is that what happens if you get a request for the guy across the street now?
That's
And we'll
why I
have to
asked.
take that, I'll have to
What
come back
happens
in
if you
here
get
and
a
ask
request for the neighbor? What happens if you, because what happens for one, everybody could jump on the bandwagon and say they don't like this.
The only reason why I'm bringing it to you is because we are the only other affected party. It's just between the town and the resident. I don't believe that it's an issue. If it was an outside boundary, I'd be sitting here telling you no, absolutely not. I think it needs to stay. But this has, all it's doing is delineating the space between the right-of-way and their property. I don't think it's needed. The road's in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not the backyard. It's not like they're gonna build a shed nearby it and have to know where that line is. And like I said, if you come down the road, you got one at the corner for the first property, one between him and that first property, one in his front yard, and then one at the corner of the next property line. It's straight line.
It's a straight line, so it's not even on a curve or anything, it's just an
absolute straight
extra
line.
stone
You drive
bound.
up Augusta, it's the second house on your left. It's, I mean.
Why they put it
it's,
in.
you know, Kim and I, we had a meeting to go to the other day, and we drove by it, and, I mean, it's,
You gotta get to the next house before the curve starts, right?
you have to go up to the next one, and then it starts around the back, yeah.
So, Mr. Vice Chair, I'm going to amend my motion
Okay?
to also allow the road agent his discretion to address the neighbor's granite markers as well, as he sees fit.
Okay.
So to take care of
Do
this
you
one,
want that?
and if he chooses.
I don't think he wants
If
that.
the other neighbors come to him, instead of him coming back here for every single one, he can look at it and say yes or no.
All right, so
It's
we,
his discretion.
How about
we,
this?
do we have a second to the amendment?
Okay,
I'll second
how about I?
We have a second for the amendment. Go ahead and
I
speak.
suggest, how about on Augusta Way?
On Augusta Way. No, that's what I meant.
Not townwide, just Augusta
Yeah.
Way.
Yeah, on Augusta Way. That was implied, just
Okay,
not
yeah.
spoken.
I'm not against that, but I'll come back every time if need be.
It just saves you some time. You can be home with your lovely family.
I was there, and I got on the computer, I was like, oh, damn, we got a meeting.
Well, I'll say, I was against this to begin with. I'm even more against the amendment. But we'll bring this the amendment to a vote. All those in favor of the amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, that would be me. So we have 3-1-0 for the amendment.
Yep.
Any final discussion on the amended motion?
Can I ask why you're against?
Because if you remove it for one,
You're gonna remove it?
why would you not remove it for another?
Oh, right.
And as soon as you start getting in the curves, you have different things. This is our highway department going above and beyond like he
Oh,
usually
yeah,
does.
Yes.
Me voting no has nothing to do with you. Trust me on that.
I have no skin in the game whatsoever. I'm
Trust
just trying
me
to
on
make it-
that.
I'm just trying to make a resident happy.
I just see it opening a can of worms potentially, and that's the only reason I would stay away from it. But
I just
that's
think
fine.
that.
Everybody's got their own vote.
I don't know many houses in town that have a granite marker sticking up in the middle of their lawns.
Right, why did the builder
Corners.
do this?
Well,
And not,
it's not in the
Not
middle
right
of
in
my
the middle
lawn, but
of
you
your
should come to
lawn.
my
I mean,
house. I
This
got
is
two.
right in the middle.
Yeah,
of it.
I do too.
In the middle?
I'm sorry?
Well, it's my setback from the road to.
yeah, but it's on the corner.
They're
No,
every,
mine's
what,
next to my
250 feet?
driveway, two on the side of my house, and then in my back.
Yeah, I don't, something, whoever surveyed it had extra granite, I don't know. They threw them in to keep a straight line. To me, it's overkill.
Yes.
That's my opinion, it's overkill.
That's why I was asking if it's on a curve,
I
but
mean,
it's.
there are corner ones, corner markers, and they're the same distance from the road.
Right.
I mean, if you're talking 600 or 700 feet of frontage, maybe, but
All
what are
right.
these, 150, 250?
Oh, yeah, if that, yeah.
That's
yeah.
overkill. I agree with you.
Okay, any final discussion on the amended motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the amended motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, that is me. All those abstain, the amended motion carries 3-1-0. Anything
Twice.
else for us?
I'll let you know if other people come in and ask anyway. I'll let me know, I'll have Kim, forward off her own email.
Yeah, I'm concerned if they see you doing one, they'll be like, hey, do mine next, do mine next.
Well, and you know something, and if it's,
Use his judgment.
I'm gonna tell them if it's a corner one that affects other
Right.
neighbors, then we can't do it.
Now, is there stipulations on like how tall a stone bound should or should not be?
No.
I just don't understand why they put it in the middle. That just,
No, the ones in my property are buried up to the top.
only up a
Yeah.
couple
I
inches,
cleared
some are
them,
up
so
a
I know
foot.
where they are.
right.
But, I mean, that's up to the person. He could backfill that right up over it if he wanted to.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I did.
Is there a divot around his?
Backfilled them up, so
No,
they're only
and-
about this high now.
I mean, if you drive by there, I mean, if you get a chance to
Grass
drive
is
by, I'm not gonna
beautiful.
get to it right away. If you wanna drive by and take a look at it, it's a flat lawn. It's a perfectly flat lawn with this monolith sticking out of the front of it, you know.
Okay.
All right.
you,
Anything else for
Kevin.
us?
Kevin, thank
I'm
you.
good, we're good.
Kevin, thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Kev.
Have a good day.
You too. Probably still like me?
Always.
All right, let's get into meeting minutes.
Why did we wait? Oh, because there's so many of them within a short period of time? Okay.
Meetings back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
So let's start with the meeting minutes of August 10th.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Leary, second by Ms. Plansky. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All those abstain. Motion carries 401. Now I have the meeting minutes of August 13th.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Motion by Mr. Leary, second by Ms. Plansky. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries 401. Now we're gonna do the meeting minutes of August 17th.
I move that we approve those minutes from August 17th.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. I would like to add that the 17th, we need to change the fact that John was not in attendance. Otherwise, I thought those were good.
Yeah, it shows him absent and in attendance.
Yeah.
You got-
Matt actually gave us that one.
Did he?
Thanks,
Threw
Matt.
a curveball. He threw a curveball. He's just seeing if people.
Anything
paying
else
attention.
before I move on the 20th, Matt?
We didn't vote yet.
Right.
Oh,
So, that was the discussion. Any more discussion on the 17th? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, all those abstain. Motion carries 400. Now we'll do the minutes for August 20th.
I make a motion that we approve those minutes.
Motion by Ms. Polanski,
Second.
second by Mr. Leary. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, all those abstain. Motion carries 400. Caught up on minutes. All right, we did the highway, we've done the 250, we did the library. Now we have land use change tax. Kim?
This is straightforward.
So, you will find here that there are 4 land use change tax requests. Map 18, lot 62-16, 18, lot 62-17, map 18, lot 62-20, map 18, lot 62-19. And these are all because there has been changes in the property due to construction. All of them, I believe, are there on your portal for you to review in the amount of $21,500. And these are Signature Homes LLC, and they are Talarico Street.
Do we need to say the addresses with each one?
I say we just do it as all 4 tax map for the same amount, blah, blah, blah.
'Cause I have them.
It's 36.
So
Right? We wouldn't do
map
that.
18, lot 62-16 is 36 Talarico, -17 is 34 Talarico, -19 is 30 Talarico, and -20 is 28 Talarico.
And they're 21,000 each?
21,500 each. I make a motion to approve those.
I second it.
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Gannon. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All those abstain? Motion carries 400. Next, we have the abatement settlement. Ms. Kleiner.
The board, I'm sure, remembers, the Morrisons coming forward earlier this year for an abatement on their property. And that was 5 Horizon, Litchfield, and the abatement was denied. The property owners chose to file at the Board of Land and Tax Appeals, which is the right. The BTLA, Board of Land and Tax Appeals, generally requests that the town assessors and the party get together and have a settlement, or at least a discussion, and try to see if they can work it out before having to go for a hearing before the BTLA. So Avatar did meet with Mr. and Mrs. Morrison. They did discuss the fact that we are not worlds apart here, based on what the landowner wanted. So the property was assessed April 1 of 2025 at $944,900. The taxpayer purchased the property just in October, a few months from that, for $900, and the property was appraised for that at that time for the purchase at $918. So realistically, we weren't looking at a huge amount. We're looking at a difference in the assessments and the purchase of about $44,900. After talking through, going over the comparables, and discussing what higher end property values mean, our assessor recommends a change to the assessment that results in a reduction from $944,900 to $913,900, which is a result of changing the basement from unfinished to finished in the appraisal, and she changed the condition of the home from good to average. After looking at it, it's still a relatively new dwelling, but no substantial improvements have been made. So, that's going to mean that the town will process an abatement on the $31,000 value difference, plus the interest from the date of the final payment of taxes, which I believe you have below in your portal. And the finance department can figured this out. So it's roughly going to be an abatement of $453.16. $13.16 is interest, $440 is principal. This, if approved by you, will get signed off and returned to the BTLA, and the matter will be concluded.
I'll make a motion to accept the adjusted value of the house and to remit payment to the owner of the property at 5 Horizon Drive.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Leary, second by Mr. Gannon. Any discussion?
Yeah, it irritates me. She was here. We were here. I probably would have rather had her negotiate with him here and then, as opposed to have this person have to go through everything they went through to get this. We spent a lot of time, made sure she was here. So yeah, Avatar, we're here. You asked for our support and explain why you want us to support you, and yet we do. And you should have evaluated it and changed it here and then.
Well, I would have to agree with you, because to negotiate is the common tactic at this point. It makes no sense to me why they didn't negotiate earlier.
Yep. Agreed.
Because she stood pat when this was in front of us.
Yep.
By her value, that it was correct, and then as soon as they get to the next level,
She folded like a cheap suit. It makes us look stupid.
I wouldn't say it makes us look stupid.
No. Okay.
A majority of the board went along with her.
Yeah, we did, because, we're supposed to be able to trust our assessors.
We're paying them for a reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had her here because when it first came up to me, I was like, I am a new selectman. I don't feel comfortable making decisions on these things without somebody from there explaining. And I did go against a few things that she said. This particular one, she made a decent argument.
I just think it's
So-
kind of contrary to her reaction to other ones by reducing the home down to an average grade, where there are homes that are much older in town
That she did not.
that are assessed at a higher grade.
And it was my feeling, had we made these changes, that we would have really had to redo the whole town.
No, what I don't understand is this house was sold and they noted the finished basement, and why didn't Avatar pick up on the finished basement?
Well, the finished basement increased the value of it.
Right, but they didn't, oh, no, they, did they?
Yeah,
Sounds
it
like
would
they
have,
did afterwards.
because it was 900, they paid 900.
So
Yeah.
I changed a section of the basement from unfinished to finished.
Okay,
And that increased the
Pursuant to
value.
the floor plan and the
18,000.
appraisal.
right,
And
okay,
then
and then, so they
downgraded it from
did,
good
they
to
did.
average.
Oh, live and learn.
So that made the difference.
So it sounds like
I'm just making a statement that can be included in
sounds like
the.
they documented something that was missed and then just
Covered.
I think she
lowered
brought
the
it up
grade
during
because that was the
the-
easiest way to do it.
Yep.
But
I just wanted noted.
unfortunately,
Yeah, I mean, the telltale sign is the house was sold for 900,000. To have it assessed at 944.
Well, somebody could have made it,
Not
wanted
in
to
this
get out
market. You're
quicker.
gonna get as much money as you can get.
I agree, but my problem is with the way she handled it, as opposed to what she did. It's this.
well, either way.
It's
at
done.
least- At least our residents will now have a resolution
Yes, agreed.
if we approve this. So is there any other discussion on this motion? Hearing none, we'll call this to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, all those abstain. Motion carries 400. So now we just did the abatement, Hawker and Peddler application for Glizzy Wagon.
Glizzy.
Glizzy Wagon. Donna and I went through this application. We did check with other departments to make sure there were no issues. They are only, in your consent agenda, there's the original application. It's for 9/13, September 13th, I'm sorry. And, this is the only time we know of that they will be in, Litchfield currently, although they are not opposed to doing other events. They did pass their background checks, and so we
Where are
would
they gonna
ask for
be?
the board's approval. The original request was for a month.
Yeah, this is
Their
a
request?
one day at Darrah Pond, 9/12/2026.
Do one day.
What is one day, what are they doing, what's
What's
9/12?
at Darrah Pond?
At Darrah.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, is that
It's,
the Fall
it's,
Fest?
No, LGSO.
Yeah, because the
Oh,
Fall
okay.
Fest is
Softball
October
tournament?
3rd.
Well, I mean, we do a 10-day, but if they're asking for a 30,
They're asking.
we can do a 30.
They
Asking
wanted
for
a
one.
one.
Oh, they wanted a 1-day.
We could do a 10-day.
Yeah, I would
we
give
offer
them, I would
a
give them
10?
either a 7 or a 10-day.
Yeah, whatever we offer.
Yeah, It's
What
a
is-
10-day that we offer, correct?
So we're saying
We do, in the new
Stay within our
policy, yes.
perimeter.
10 days for what, $50? Is that what it is?
Something like that.
Because that's what they're saying, receipt of license fee in the amount of $50. So if it's 10 days, let's just give them 10 days.
10 days.
Which,
Okay.
Because
They're
if
from-
it's a softball tournament, they're gonna play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Right.
So they'll wanna maximize their earnings.
They'll be there more than 1 day, they'll be there every day,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they only have it for one day, then they can't be.
as long as they don't hold the raffle.
I make a motion that we approve Glitzy's
so
Glizzy
what should we
Wagon?
do?
Glizzy Wagon.
Should-
You were looking for a motion.
What
right?
is typically the?
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I just want to find out what are, yes,
I have-
I'll second it.
All right,
First discussion.
motion and a second discussion.
So what days are the LGSL tournaments? Is it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? Because this,
Yes.
because this is just for Saturday. So if
Right.
that's the case, I would like the dates to be from Friday the 11th to Friday the 18th, or it would be 10 days, the
Yeah.
21st. So let's go the 10th, so they have a day early, the 10th to the 20th of September.
Okay.
Make sense to you?
Yep.
I'll second that amended motion.
Okay, that's the amendment. All right, so any discussion on the amendment other than that? Hearing none, the amendment by Mr. Gannon, the second to the amendment by Mr. Leary. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, all those abstain, the amendment passes 400. Now the amended main motion, any final discussion?
It's not the amended it's the motion now. We already.
It was amended.
We voted the amendment already.
It's an amended main motion.
I motion that we do that. Let's go.
That we do that.
Let's do that.
We do what you're saying. I'll second that.
Still an amended motion.
All right, let's not
Motion as
fight, boys.
All right, there, I will go with that, okay?
So we're not gonna sign this then, right?
We are gonna sign it. Oh, no, she's gonna change it.
All those in favor, oh, actually, there's no more discussion, right? All those in favor of the amended motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion as amended.
Motion as amended, I'll go with that, whatever you want.
400.
Yes.
You're in favor?
Yeah.
Any of those opposed, any of those abstain, motion carries 400.
So we're not
No,
going to
no.
sign this tonight, then you're gonna rewrite it with the
late.
dates, right?
Ah,
Do you want to? Sign it next time we're in?
because next, oh, 9/3. Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
For
okay.
9/3.
So I'm just leaving it here, or do you want it back?
That would not be good.
All right, we've worked our way through our action items on the agenda, now we have our budget items. So, do we start with insurance?
Oh, we don't have those numbers yet.
We don't have those.
So much for that. You're going good right now.
So no.
So,
No.
Personnel.
Climax and Health Trust have not been received yet.
Personnel, 4155. Let's find it.
4155.
All right,
So,
Oh, and it came up.
What?
Yeah, for a
how
minute.
about debt service?
What happened to?
What happened to personnel?
I'm going through it.
Oh,
Debt
oh,
service is above personnel,
This?
yeah.
Son of a gun.
where is it?
so, as you can see, on the debt service, it is mainly, and I'm waiting for my machine to catch up. Mainly the fire department, as we have every year. I did send the board a memo that I suggest that we apply impact fees to the payment for the fire department. We've been asked by the DRA in the past that if we are going to do that, that we apply it to the interest.
Yep.
So I would reduce that 95,468 by the current impact fees. And I know I sent it to you, I think it was 52,000 that I
52,000?
suggested.
So it's 100 and... So they'll change it to 113,000 after the reduction?
So, change it to 130, it's 95, so it would go to 40.
Oh, okay. Oh, the interest, okay.
Yeah, let me get that, pull that sheet up.
So reduce it by 52, 43.
So the current impact fees available is 52,223. I suggested using 52,200, which would reduce it to 43,268.
Okay,
That is the one item that impact fees are
Can be
valid
used
use
for.
for.
all The only question I have, did you talk to the fire chief about this at all?
I did.
And what did he have to say about that?
He had no problem with it.
We've been doing this for a number of years now, Steve.
I remember hearing that before, but I just wanted to see if
Spoke to him this afternoon.
Doug Nichols was good with it.
Yes.
All right.
So that will reduce this number to,
43 to
43 to
68.
68.
Okay.
And then back to the budget. So, your next,
All right, so the next one is personnel,
and I'm gonna pass that to Karen.
4155.
So next year, we have a change in, New Hampshire retirement. It went down a little bit. It's still-
Did you say it went down?
Wow.
Down?
Say
Mark
that,
this day down,
say that with some enthusiasm.
right? Mark it
13
down.
years, it's all going away.
Yeah,
55, okay.
I think police went from like 30 point something to 26 point something. But yeah, so New Hampshire retirement went down. I don't know what else.
4992.
Admin
You
for
got-
the flexible spending stayed the same. Short-term
Firefighter
disability stayed the
Police
same.
retirement went up.
So the Medicare, the employment and, you know, the Medicare, Social Security and the retirement is all on wages.
Why the increase? Is that because of new hires that filled
Yeah.
previously vacant positions?
Or, on the fire department, we had those warrant articles, so,
Okay.
the Social Security and Medicare would increase for those.
Okay.
For, you know, anything with the police, it would only be Medicare, cause they don't pay the social.
Yep.
And any raises that, you know, people would have gotten would be included on the Social Security and Medicare. So you see in the retirement, the fire department, dropped a little bit, because of the rate difference, and, we don't have, the unemployment taxes yet, and we don't have the workers' comp yet. Those are Primex as well.
So realistically, our 23,977 increase,
As well.
some of it's offset by the warrant article for the fire department for the overnight coverage, correct?
What caused the money?
4711.
Well, so in the warrant article for the fire coverage, legal proposed that we word that warrant article because they're per diem personnel as just increasing the coverage by adding coverage for the nighttime. So I just wanna be honest and transparent with folks at home that the warrant article only included the per diem wages, not the increase to the, you know, Medicare or Social Security or any of that.
Boy, that's kind of crappy. Because people didn't know that there was actually a higher cost to it than there was.
Pennies, number one. Number two, they're per diem workers, so it's viewed a little differently. They're not full-time workers.
Yeah. We're still swallowing $24,000 increase. And I'm sure a large part of it was from that.
I
That's
mean,
all.
I would, this would be increase anytime if you gave a salary increase. If you hired
It's just, that's the
someone
biggest
and
difference we
added-
have in labor this year from last. That's the only reason why I'm saying that's probably where a large portion of this is coming from.
Did we add a police officer?
Okay. Any questions or comments from anybody? We can move on? Okay, let's go to advertising, 4197.
Didn't we do that?
Did we?
We kind of
Good,
did, I
yeah.
just want to make a note, though, that,
We picked that one up.
we had, so we put that $1,500 for the resource fair in
Yep.
there per your discussion last week.
Yep.
But today I received a letter from NRPC, and our dues for 2027, went up just a little bit more than we had originally thought. So it's 7,217. So what I did was, at the beginning of the file, if you're using the drop-down box, you're going to see a 2027 adjustments reductions tab. And in that tab, I have noted all the changes that we've made since we started your review, so that you can keep a track on where the tax cap was, and where it is now. So I like to just have that sheet so we can go back to see the historic change, as these meetings unravel. So that was a change, that was made. And it was an increase of $83.
Questions from anyone?
Good.
Hearing none. Preliminary revenue?
So we have not yet sat with the DRA to discuss revenues, and so this will be something that we do at tax setting time. I did go through to look at revenues in comparison to 2026, and I looked at revenues for 2025. Based on those, I sent to you 3 revenues which I believe should be increased for 2027. Motor vehicles, so our motor vehicle permits, they have continued to rise. They did rise from 2025 to 2026. We made a minor adjustment. They've continued to rise for 2026 as we see the year go on. So recommend $150,000 increase on that line for 27. Interest, luckily, and again, this is the strong financial management of our treasurer and our finance manager, making some good decisions as far as investments. That has continued to run. We budgeted 130. We've already got 122. If we look at the second half of last year, I would recommend 50,000 in that line. And then the third item is building permits, which has really taken off, which is not a real surprise. Taken the building and the construction and the development that we have going on in Litchfield, which we also expect to continue, right? We have some more units at Rose Meadows, a couple more homes at Talarico, and of course then moving on to Colby Farms. We budgeted 75,300. We're already at 88,000. Not even about a little over halfway through the year. So we're recommending 20,000 to that line item. And of course, this is all can be discussed. I think this is being conservative, but that's a total of $220,000 dollars increase in revenues. We did have an increase in the rental property, but again, that's offset by the amount that they put in the COMCOM budget to manage those properties. Other than that, I think we'll look at the highway block grant when we meet with the DRA. They always give us an accurate figure of what we are going to, what we have received. And there's a few other line items. I did try to look at all of them for 2026, and the rest look strong.
My only question's gonna be, why can't they be more? How conservative do you think your numbers are?
Yeah, winding
You always
down
wanna be safe.
those big developments that have just occurred.
Well, being safe is one thing, but like,
you don't wanna-
did you have Terry run her projection on the motor vehicles at all?
I did last year, so I had last year's projection.
Yep.
And I certainly looked at that. I looked at what we received each month by month. My only concern with going higher than that is that if we take in more revenue than we have budgeted, that lowers the tax rate when we set it in the fall, right? Opposite is the opposite.
Mhm.
And I think to be conservative and make sure that you're always coming back with a lower tax rate for the residents offsets. And, you know, I know the budget committee has had concerns with us raising revenues, in the past. So we try to be very conservative.
What else goes against our revenues before it hits the tax rate? I know there's one large item. Is there anything else?
So when when Karen and I meet with DRA, of course, they have our MS1, which is the total valuation of the town. And that changes. I did run that today to see what that looked like. It was higher than I had anticipated, which is good. And it's lower tax rate, right, than what we had in town meeting. So we like to see that. Again, we're really conservative with estimating that number, because if you say, we think we're gonna get 15 million in increased valuation. Okay, we'll put that 15 million in. And generally, schools will ask us and they'll use whatever figure we use. If we get 20 million, great, tax rate goes down. If you only picked up 10, then it's more than what you offered, or could be if your revenues were the same.
Okay.
Could be
It's
more
so
than-
confusing the way it works. I am
Yeah.
starting to get a feel for it, but the way it works is very confusing.
It is.
I am starting to get a feel for it. We did the table talk last year, and and it was done to educate everybody, and I took some of that with me, but it is extremely complicated how X changes.
Yeah, and it gets a little bit more complicated when you're doing like the tax rate for the school, because, utility assessments don't get taken into consideration the same as the town, with,
Crazy, right?
tax rate. But I think we've been conservative in what we have estimated. I do think we could have raised our revenues a little bit more for 2026, but we'll see where the final values come out. We probably won't meet with them till what, beginning of October?
Yeah, probably, yeah, around that time when all of our stuff is in, yeah. We have to do our revised.
I mean, we still had, I met with Julie and Brian, from the schools last week, and I know they're working on their end of year, financials, which, because they're a fiscal year, it's a little different, so, we can't set the tax rate until that is all done and their auditors are done with their, financials. And then, you know, our assessor will run the final MS1, but it's higher than what I thought it would be for April 1st. So that is good. You know, it's.
How does that help our problem going over the tax cap? What does it bring the tax cap down to?
Yeah, so, I mean, if you're looking at, you know, all those changes, just the 272, which is the 220 in revenues, and, the 5222, debt, that takes the tax cap amount that you're over from 340 to 68. Now, take off the 10 that we can take out of ambulance, because we don't believe we'll need that, and Chief Nickel and I met with Hudson today. Now we're at 58, take off 1,200 because we will not be billed by, in general government, we will not be billed for the fire alarms. I mean, yeah, at 57, we're moving in the right direction, but we still have more to do, especially with Primex and Health Trust not being received yet.
I know Terry, when she was in front of us, spoke on the car registrations being behind what she thought it was going to be because people are moving into the buildings and letting their registrations expire at their old locations. So she did kind of anticipate, is that shown, the anticipation in an upwards mobility of those new residences?
I believe we think it should be higher than it is. You
Okay.
know, to the town clerk's perception is that most people these days at least have 2 cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
3.
She expected it to be more already, even though it's
Yeah.
more.
And we haven't seen those numbers come in, but we have seen increases.
Mm-hmm.
But we've had a lot of people move into town.
Right,
So,
so,
you know, you could have
The
even more
ADUs.
of a spurt next year
Yep.
because of that,
Right.
right? Because their registrations in the towns they are coming from expire,
Right.
and now they all have to come in. So
right,
you could, but
you could move it a little. Okay,
Yeah, I mean, looking at these numbers, the motor vehicles, I mean, where it sits today at 1,400,000, I think an increase of 150 is tiny. Tiny compared to what it could be. The fact that we're already 13,000 over on permits, I know permits will tend to slow down in the wintertime,
they will.
but projecting a $20,000 increase there, we could probably up that another 10 without a problem. But we'll watch it, we'll see how it goes. We don't have to make those final decisions until later on.
right, we're gonna have
And
a,
we can look at, you know, in a couple weeks or
that's.
even
that's
a month, what have we picked up, and, you know,
I know,
if we see it continue, we can certainly ask the, town clerk to, project what she thinks the motor vehicle
Been a little crazy with
will
it.
be at the end of the year, not, you know, again, I'm basing it on trend, so if she has some better numbers, we can certainly ask her to run those.
again,
And
yeah,
I know this is a different way of thinking, but to under-project your revenues artificially decreases your tax rate.
if we don't make them.
No, it artificially decreases if you bring in
It does
too much.
artificially, if we
Yeah.
don't make those numbers, yes.
So,
Yeah.
that's one thing that I've always
We make
complained
'em.
about the most. I'm like everybody else. I don't want my tax bill to go up. It goes up constantly, but we need to try to do what we can to minimize the spikes. the spike in the valley. We don't want to keep going like this. We want to try to keep it in the middle.
Consistent.
Absolutely.
So
If possible.
getting our projections on our revenues as close to possible, but being conservative is the best way
It
to
is
go,
the way.
in my opinion.
I'm comfortable with that as well.
So-
I'm comfortable with her numbers.
I'm also not comfortable in cutting things in the budget
That we need.
that benefit our residents because we're trying to stay in the tax cap and we've underestimated revenues, right? So the offset to underestimating those revenues is
Right.
having to cut the expense side. And I don't like having to cut services or, managed services that our residents rely on.
Right. But all in all, this is great news.
Yep.
Thank you. Anybody else, questions or comments on revenues? All right, we'll go on to preliminary default.
And back to Karen. Karen does our default budget.
Well, so the budget committee had asked, for a line to be added to the budget for default, so that's your yellow line that's in there.
Yeah.
And that's the default. You can only take what the voters voted on. That's contractual, and that's really the police department. By RSA, there are a few other things you could change, which, is workers' comp and unemployment. But, so I think I put a line in the summary page, cause it's not, that's probably easier than going through the whole thing.
Yep, I see it. I see it, I see it.
The yellow line, you said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, our default sits at 8,668,282.
yep.
Look at the difference.
Yeah,
600,000.
it's a couple bucks.
778.
9.2%.
Yeah, but does that include the warrant articles and all like that too?
So for the fire department, that warrant article is in there, but not the whole year, just what was voted on last year.
Okay,
The cruises couldn't go in because that was from unassigned, so there was an offset to revenues from that.
And our department proposed has the ambulance, the dispatch.
I'm sorry, what was that?
So the department proposed, 2027 proposed operating has the dispatch, the ambulance, the waste management, and all those can't be in the default because they weren't approved by the voters, so that's the bulk of this big.
Boy, that's gonna put us in a bind when we're trying to get this,
And contract.
discussion
yeah.
points for this. We need to make sure that's perfectly perfectly clear, or we're gonna have a lot of problems.
Yes.
Okay,
That is the challenge when you have large contractual, they're contractual to us this year, but not contractual so that Karen can include them. 'Cause they weren't approved by the voters. The only thing you have approved by the voters is the police CBA. And then, of course, we'll have a new police CBA
Yep.
on the warrant.
so if I'm seeing this correctly, it's $550,000 difference, roughly?
About that, yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right, any questions on default?
Nope.
Yeah, but-
All right, preliminary tax cap.
So, on the right after the summary page is a 2027 tax impact tab. And the only reason I bring this up is this may look different to you than what you have seen. So, in a meeting of, SB2 towns, some with tax caps and some without, we were working to put together a sheet that was easier for residents to understand and also showed more accurately what the tax rate may be. So here you can see the 2026 budget, and that ties out. So if everything comes out correctly, and we'll see how close we get when we set it with the DRA. You'd look at 276. If you look at the 2027 default, it would only go up a penny if, everything works out. But if everything stayed the same, and again, these revenues have not been adjusted on this sheet, because we won't adjust them until we really get the real revenue numbers with the DRA. And we don't have insurances. You're already looking at roughly 28 cents.
28 cents.
So, I don't know if this spreadsheet is clearer for people or not, but I left the old ones, the old calculations right below it. So I'll update both and we can kind of decide what you like better on that 2027 tax impact.
Okay.
This,
Um,
you think right there.
Anybody questions or comments on this?
Diane's trying to find it all the way across.
Right
I was
after
looking,
this.
I was looking at the end. I needed to be at the beginning.
Yep, go to the
The other
beginning,
end.
Yeah,
the other end, yeah.
the other end.
The only
Tax
reason
cap, got it.
I
Thank
really
you.
liked the
Scroll all the
spreadsheet
way
that the
down.
managers
Get
put
on
together.
This here and scroll
Um,
down. No,
As we add the warrant articles to the
Thank you.
pink area below, we'll figure out the tax impact of those, so at the end, we'll have a total tax impact. And this may even be easier for the budget committee to use, at presentation time, because it will have the default, the operating, everything in one place.
Yep.
Last year was the first year that I remember, the budget committee asking us for the tax impact on the default. And we actually did it, but we did it in a separate place from the operating, so just trying to see what people like and what format people like, and we can adjust it however you want.
All right.
Tax
Questions?
cap, though, still 57,000?
277?
If we do everything we talked about tonight, we're still
57.
57.
I think we go back to the departments like we do every year and just ask them to go through their budgets again.
Well, and we're gonna have
Try
to,
to cut something before we do.
Well,
See what they can do, come up with.
Not
does
a
that
lot of-
usually yield much result?
Actually, it does sometimes.
Sometimes.
It has in the past.
All right. Hopefully some of the questions we had when they were here would lead them to places to start.
And you asked them all the same question.
I don't think a lot of them have a lot of fat in them, though. They didn't seem to be padding it much, but still have to come up with roughly 57.
I mean, we generally ask, and if they have something, then, we'll ask them to
Yeah.
come and speak to you on the 3rd,
they'll take some.
about what they're considering. and
I
what
got
they
my
think.
money.
Okay.
Where I'm looking.
I did put together, so I looked at, I know your request was to move the seminars and training. below the budget on your portal, you're gonna see a sheet that says, seminars and training, 2027 seminars and training. That's the 811 account, out of every budget. The issue is, I think you gotta leave code enforcement in code, because that has to do with
Yep.
his license.
Yep.
Fire with fire, police with police. I just think we might be better off keeping them in their individual departments. And if you wanna lower someone, we can certainly do that. But I think we're going to get into a mess if we try to move them all.
No, I thought we already agreed that police would keep theirs because they're assigned and they're a yearly thing. Fire would do the same.
And
Code has specific ones that have to be done.
It was
But
commissions
I thought it
and
was all the other ones that we were gonna
planning board,
consolidate into the
conservation.
selectmen budget.
Okay, so we're just looking
That's how I
at
remembered it.
zoning board, planning board,
Yep.
conservation?
Yeah,
Everybody else other than those three.
Leave tax collector and leave town clerk.
Leave
Okay.
them.
Departments,
yeah.
okay. Alright,
So
so
just
then you're
police.
only talking,
So I see highway seminars, health, conservation, zoning, planning, and road maintenance. 150, 150, 275, 375, 125, 150.
gotcha, thank you.
And just to be clear, we're not saying they can't use it, we just want them to come and ask and then
Those are the ones that are typically
Pull it out of that one.
underspent.
underspend, yeah.
So instead of having that as underspent, we're gonna put them under the selectmen. All they have to do is
Just ask.
request it from us and we'll pay it
But
out
make
of
sure
our.
they get it,
Yeah,
whatever
we're not
it
gonna
is.
say no.
Exactly, no, it's not to do that, it's just to try to prevent.
It might actually offer them,
Something that doesn't always
Gonna
get
be
used.
used.
and it might offer them the ability to take a training course that is higher than what they typically have budgeted for.
Exactly, exactly.
Because we have that 2,000 in the selectmen already. Yep.
I believe Kim's pretty good about seeing trainings and letting
Yeah.
departments know
Training.
which ones would be suitable
Yeah.
for them. So, all right, anything else? Budget adoption, is that what the bottom one is here?
Preliminary budget adoption.
Oh, I
Budget.
think that's a third, or the 10th,
Yeah,
Okay, okay,
sorry.
no, that's fine,
cool.
okay.
That clock completely stopped now.
Yeah, this meeting's really dragging.
Yeah.
Wow,
I actually
I
thought
had-
we were doing pretty good, it's
I
eight
know.
twenty-five.
I had high
Oh, no, we-
anticipation for you after the last
It's
meeting where
eight
you.
twenty-five, I thought we were doing good.
We are. Let's keep doing good.
Okay, so going through that, we have nothing else for budgets tonight, correct?
Correct.
Correct. We have the second public input, unless our meeting minutes taker wants to do it. I see nobody that wants to come up, so we'll close that. And we'll now go to town administrator report.
Quickly.
Okay, so a couple things, Karen brought to my attention today that there was a, email from Health Trust regarding dental options. Our dental options are gonna change, so we're gonna look at this, we're actually gonna talk to Diane and Steve, tomorrow when we meet, for negotiations. And we'll have to decide what we're gonna do with that. On the Health Trust wagon, still, there is an open board position. If anyone would like to sit on the board, Health Trust. And
Is it a
so-
paid position?
I mean, more than we already do?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that,
Bob, you look like you're very
You know,
healthy.
only one can sit on it. You can be an elected official or an administrative position of a department head or higher. So the deadline's September 17th if you want to be considered. Moving on from that,
How often do they meet? I'm not
No,
doing it.
Diane, I'm sorry, I really don't monthly.
Okay.
Do you think they
I
meet
have no
monthly?
idea.
I have
How
no
often do you
idea
want 'em?
either. I know they at least meet twice because they meet to go over with the auditors the projected balances of the risk fund, and then they determine the rates. So they actually vote on the rates. So it is a important position. So the second thing is, we had a resident come in last week, regarding Mel's. And this has, become an all hands on deck. We're trying to work, with Mel's, to ensure that we're providing them all the, expertise that we can. Ken went and met with the owners today and did a walkthrough of the site. Joan went through all of the planning board approvals. We do not find a noise ordinance or a noise reference on the plan except for no cannon noise after 10 p.m. I do not believe they violated that. So, what we've asked is that staff gets all the notes together. What I think they have received two different opinions. And this is where the town needs to ensure that we're giving our commercial businesses the same information. So, it was approved in 2022. The wording on the condition of approval was that each phase, and 2 phases on the stormwater, each phase must be completed within 2 years. They didn't start the first phase until 2024. So they were, and from what I understand, they were told by the past building inspector and a member of the planning board that they had 2 years to finish that phase. So they're thinking they have until fall of 2026, which is
So
reasonable.
there was no
based on
date
what-
of when they had to start, just a date of when they had to complete.
The language is each phase must be completed within 2 years. Then they have a second phase, and then they'll start that. So they do have a vendor hired to start, actually finish the work. They had it started by a prior vendor, and that did not work out. That vendor left them, which is a difficult situation for Mel's to be in. They've hired another vendor to complete the work, and they believe they will be on track. Phase 1 done. We'll move on to phase 2. Ken is at their disposal. We're going to help them as much as we can. And we're going to work with TRC on a process of how we document all these things and we make sure everyone has access to the information and it's clear to everyone.
Yep.
And I think it's a start, but a lot more needs to be done. And then the ambulance contract with Hudson, Chief Nickel and I went and met with Town Administrator Sorensen in Chief Tice in Hudson. We met with them this afternoon. Great conversation, as it always is, on how we're going to finish out the contract until December 31st. Hudson has agreed to kind of switch places and be the backup to Londonderry, where Londonderry is the backup to Hudson right now. And of course, we all have mutual aid. We all work very well together, and we see that continuing for years and years and years to come. We did discuss ambulance billing, and how that will work, and so I think we had a really good conversation, and, I was really happy with it.
How will the
Good
billing
news.
go if Hudson has to respond instead of Londonderry?
So the backup doesn't, so right now, Londonderry, if Londonderry responds as a backup, they don't charge us, and it would be the same for Hudson. It's just a switch of roles. It's just like mutual aid,
Okay.
you know? I'm really happy with how the discussion went
That's
this
great.
afternoon.
That's great.
Is that it?
That's it?
Selectmen reports.
Rec, we meet tomorrow. We haven't met in a month. I did mention to Mr. Burns about, Chairman Burns, about CIP and that we need to get that on the ball that. I don't know if he reached out to you or not, Kim, you did?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Good, and I also semi-scolded him for not being here last week for budget. I'm not gonna scold him too much, cause he's way bigger than me.
Yeah.
Is that it? Ms. Plansky?
So we have a lot of crazy things coming up this week. I missed my last planning board meeting, which we'd already discussed. I have a planning board meeting tomorrow night at 7:00. We also have a meeting tomorrow at 1:00, Kim, that it's likely I'm going to be late to. It starts at 1. It's likely I might not be here till 1:30 or 2. Is that okay? Can you,
What is it, tomorrow's,
preliminary to,
Preliminary conversation.
it's
You
a
wanna move to
planning
1:30?
for,
You wanna
for
move it to
Wednesday.
1:30?
Could we move it to 2? It would give me breathing
Fine
room.
with me.
I have to be out of here right before 4, so as long
Oh,
as
yeah,
we
so
don't
yeah,
go
so it's gonna be
past
probably
that.
an hour-long meeting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we could move it to 2, that would be fantastic. Thankful of that. Then Wednesday, we have a meeting with that. And then Wednesday night, I'm going to be going to Canterbury for an award for the L-chip for the DeRocha property purchase, and there'll be a big presentation of that. They asked me to do it as one of the people that were on that board that would be able to do it. Jason isn't going to be able to. And George won't be able to be there. So I'll be there on Wednesday. Then Thursday, last week I missed my Heritage Committee meeting because we were here in board meetings, and I'm not sure if they were actually able to have that committee meeting, were they? No, they weren't able to have that. They didn't have enough representatives. The Circumventual Highway Exploratory Committee, we're going to not have that Wednesday night. I had already told that committee that we wouldn't be meeting in August due to the demand on budgets. But we will have one in September. So there's one on the board for for this Wednesday that needs to come down for the Circumventual Highway.
Circumventual Highway this Wednesday.
This Wednesday that needs to come down. But the letter that I requested last month, or 2 weeks ago, that Kim put together, requesting that they open those properties back up to us that we had given back, that were rented by people that were given an opportunity to buy those. Nobody took that. We've got those back. They're looking for hopefully us to decide. We got a letter. We requested that we get those properties back, and they have already answered us and said, yes, you may. But we may have to return those quickly if we're gonna need to figure that out in September, what we wanna do.
Okay.
So I believe Heritage is still working on trying to put Passaconaway somewhere. They've talked to Mel's, they're waiting for Mel's to respond. There is a resident in town that borders a lot of those islands, that would be appropriate to put that Passaconaway sign. And they have expressed an interest in having it put on their property. I think they're gonna have a chance to look into that. Planning board, I'm interested to see what's going on. I thought that a person interviewed to be on the planning board, but I think they've stepped away from it.
Yes.
Yes, so we still need a planning board, another planning board meeting person. It's a great board if you wanna have input to what the town's gonna look like. Great board to be on. Hope some of our residents are able to step forward for that. And that's all I have.
Thank you. That planning board applicant, did they happen to go to zoning instead?
No.
They just pulled out?
Right.
Okay.
shame.
Mr. Gannon?
just this week is just, police union meetings. Conservation doesn't meet till September, and we don't have people for the Energy Commission.
Do we have anything out searching for members for that? For the Energy Commission?
On the sign.
We put it on the side, we put it in the newsletter.
Kim and I need to do some table talks. We need to get some of those heads of committees to come in.
Yes.
Put those interviews
So
up.
we went back and we,
Excuse me.
both, Priority and I looked at the contract and then the PUC agreement. And then I checked, with legal, just to make sure the board has the authority to move forward. You don't have to, have an energy committee, although it's just recommended, just because the board is so busy and has so many important things on their plate. But we can move forward if you see fit.
Yeah, it kind of dissolved on its own just because there was no movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, back in the day, you got everybody to join, but there was no,
2 years, 3 years.
Right, so putting together the PUC agreements and getting the documents ready for the, Public Utility Commission and then getting all of that approved, that was a big undertaking for the, 5 or 6 of us. There were a lot of meetings with legal counsel, there was, a lot of meetings with Standard Power, and then it got approved and it was kinda,
Yeah, sat on the hands.
yeah, a lot to nothing,
Yeah.
so,
Do we have BOS meeting Thursday?
Thursday we do.
We do?
This week?
We
I think
don't?
so,
This
no.
week,
this
no.
week, no.
No,
Oh
okay.
my God, it's a
Not till
vacation day.
October.
Holy Toledo.
Are you all set?
Yes, thank you.
Look at
And
that.
the reason why that caught me by surprise is because there's a budget committee meeting on this Thursday that I will attend.
That's why we were.
And I included Kim on my email last night, just as giving them a quick update, and I only did that in case there was something big I missed. She could point it out to me. Otherwise, I have nothing else to report. So with that, we do not have a non-public scheduled, correct?
Correct.
So it looks like at 8:39 PM, I'm looking for a motion to
So
adjourn.
made.
Up to second.
I have a motion by Mr. Leary, second by Ms. Plansky. Any discussion on that motion?
No.
Oh, okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, all those abstain, motion carries 4-0-0. Thank you for watching, everyone. I call the meeting closed at 8:39 PM.